Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King, and today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Got All Kurama Powers in the Pain Art, guys. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, I posted a brand new series on this channel but it was late last night, so I doubt many of you saw it. What if Naruto got Marvel superhuman abilities? So go ahead and check out that. It's gonna be right under this one, so enjoy that guys. And also don't forget to stay tuned for the rest of the what ifs coming your way on the other channels. I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. So yeah, without further ado, oh yeah, don't forget to turn on the bell notification, see exactly when I post, because as you can see, I do post a lot. So without further ado, we jump right into this new episode. Begin now guys. So the last time we left off, the village was now safe, as everyone was declaring Naruto the hero of the Hidden Leaf. With that being said, some time passed as there was a meeting between the daimyo and several shinobis. The meeting was to see who would make active Hokage until Tsunade arose, or perhaps permanent Hokage after all. There is a joining vote in the next 2 months to see if this new person would be able to stand up to the podium and stay active Hokage. Danzo was gonna try and take over, but Shikaku was against that. Shikaku was one of the few that knew Danzo's true nature. However, as Shikaku nominated Kakashi Hatake, Danzo was against that, saying that Kakashi followed the teaching of the third, and even Minato as well. While Minato was a very prominent leader, the third Hokage had let them drive themselves down into war several times before, because they made the other nations believe that Konoha has gotten weak, as Danzo was inspiring to change that. That was until the door blew open as Naruto stepped inside. Everyone was shocked by this, as they never expected to see him here. As Shikaku now remember why Naruto wanted to know where the meeting was being held, it all makes sense now. As Naruto played his case in front of the daimyo, as the man just sat there and listened to everything that Naruto had to say, holding the fan in front of his face, the man also realized that Naruto had a great facial feature that was similar to the fourth Hokage as well. So once their case was done, the daimyo appointed his new, selected Hokage, and that was Naruto Uzumaki. Danzo was fuming, he was pissed off. Naruto was shocked as he did not expect to actually go through with it. The man was seeming hesitant, but he actually got it. With the newfound knowledge that he possessed and the things that he would do, Naruto had a lot to accomplish. The Envoy captain took him towards the location, as there was a personal group that Naruto had to pick out, as Naruto told the man to just gather his best. When Naruto had asked them who were the best amongst them, they all raised their hand, so Naruto left it over towards the captain who was gonna have a trial. So with that, Naruto made his way towards the office. News spread like wildfire around the village. As Naruto sat down, Danzo was the one that came to speak to him. Naruto told him that he knew a lot. Danzo told him that it didn't matter what he knew, he could not take him down. The man was openly telling Naruto that he did not care what he do, and sooner or later he will be out of that seat. As Naruto promised him that the one who will fall will be him. So with that, Naruto got a gift from the daimyo, as it was a coat. The one that Minato got was crafted from the daimyo's people, as because of their similarities, the daimyo got Naruto one as well, with the 6 Hokage insignia on the back, as Naruto took it and put it on. Going through the village, several people were, not able to see Naruto as he moved with tremendous speed. He made his way to a few select people, that being Kakashi, as he had stopped by the memorial site. He also went to the Hyuga compound. Let's just say the Hyugas were shocked to see him. However, they were respectful as they heard about him taking seat in the office. as Naruto went to speak to Hinata. Neji was adjoining as Naruto already had his vote on the upcoming vote. Despite Naruto being young, several people had seen the courage and wisdom that he possessed. As Naruto sat down with Hinata and told her that he could not reciprocate her feelings right now, there was a lot that he had to do. At first, she thought he was turning her down, but he said not right now, and that made her happy to hear. She ended up passing out after Naruto hugging her and left the room. Naruto also went to visit Tsunade. Sakura was shocked that he did not even say anything to her, as Naruto promised Tsunade that he would keep the village running well. All she needed to do was focus on recovering. So with that, Naruto left as he went back towards the office. Naruto had woken up in the office as his assistant was there, as Naruto almost put her down. However, she was just here to sort things out. He was able to calm down after that as Naruto met his Anbu team. 4 trusted people as one of them. A guy that was inspired by Minato and people alike. He also was inspired by Naruto, but he didn't want to make it seem like he was a creep or anything. But he was just inspired by these powerful people rising through the ranks and always doing great things. As there was 2 older, Kunoichi, who was in charge of the team. There was an older man there and a younger one as well. As this team would suit Naruto well, as Naruto also told them to be at ease. Yes, they should be professional, but you want them to be at ease, not like a robot every single time. As for Kumo ninjas came to the village. Let's just say they were beyond shock when they came across Naruto, as they expected to see Tsunade. They asked about Sasuke as they started to lose their cool until they realized Anvus were surrounding them. The killer intent from the 4 Anvus quickly quieted them up, as Naruto told them that the Akatsuki took 3 days to extract the One Tails, which is the weakest tail beast, and possessing the less chakra. So it will take at least 2 weeks for them to take the 8 tails, because there's a high chance that their sensei was still alive. Samui thanked him for that as she told him about the meeting between the Kages that the Raikage had called, as Naruto thanked her for the information. So with that, the Kumo team left. As Naruto thought about Sasuke. Thinking about Sasuke was on the way, making his way to the Hidden Leaf. As several things had been revealed to him, and a lot of hatred was inside his heart. Hatred that he wanted to release on the Hidden Leaf village. So yeah guys, basically let's split off. You guys can switch across the place, check it out for yourself. So to begin this new episode guys. Sasuke and Team Taka made their way through the forest, jumping from branch with great speed. As they made their way to Konoha, Sasuke's mind was flooded of images between his family and brother, as his brother's final words echoed through his mind. Forgive me, Sasuke. This is the end. Sasuke then remembered telling Tobi the reason behind his urges of destroying Konoha and its people. If I said that I accepted Itachi well, it would be nothing but talk. The nonsense of those who do not know hatred. If anyone reject the way I've chosen to live my life, I'll kill everyone they love. Then they will at least begin to understand hatred. Sasuke was brought out of his thoughts as he came to a halt, noting the space-time disruption up ahead, as his team stopped behind him as Tobi stepped out of the warping space-time hole. Hey Sasuke, he said, his tone calm. Karin was shocked. She was arguably one of the best sensors, and yet she did not even sense him coming. His chakra just came out of nowhere. What the hell? Asagetsu cursed under his breath. Shit, this is bad timing. As Sasuke looked at him with a stoic look. How did you know I was here? Tobi scoffed. Do not underestimate me. It is within my power. Sasuke ignored his words. What do you want? Taka, it's no longer a part of the Akatsuki. We have no further use for you. Tobi shook his head. I said I would kill you if you betrayed the Akatsuki, and you broke your promise to me. This confused Sasuke, but he did not show it. What are you talking about? The 8-tailed beast. As Karin argued for Sasuke. But we found the Akatsuki and brought him to you. It was a fake. In other words, you failed. His words shocked the entire team as he continued. The Akatsuki pulled one over on you. I am really disappointed in you guys. Sasuke looked at Tobi with an incredulous look. I saw everything with my Sharingan. There shouldn't have been time for him to split, Sasuke thought, as he didn't remember when he sliced off one of the tentacles. It was then Sasuke thought to himself. Suigetsu stepped forward on the branch. So what do you want us to do about it? It's not our business anymore. Tobi turned his attention towards the boy. No, you will finish your last job, a part of the Akatsuki. But I don't care about him anymore. There's something else I want you to do. And if I say no, Sasuke asks. Then you will have to fight me right here and now to get to Konoha, because I won't allow you to pass. Immediately, Sasuke charged Chidori as he launched himself. However, he passed right through Tobi. Besides, Tobi whispered as Sasuke passed him, "It's a bit too late to go to Konoha now." Sasuke heard the man as he gripped onto a branch and flipped back upwards. "I went right through him, just like before." "Your goal is futile now," said Tobi as he slowly turned, ignoring the others behind him. "Too bad." "What do you mean?" Sasuke said. "Konoha. It has been destroyed." All of them were shocked by his words. "What do you mean?" said Karen. A Venus flytrap started to erupt beside Tobi's feet. "I can explain. It was Zetsu." "So, who's the new Hokage?" Tobi said, looking down. As Zetsu scoffed, his darker voice spoken up. "That Naruto kid." The revelation was stunning, as Tobi chuckled darkly. "Well, now that is unexpected. I thought for sure they would hand the hat over to Danzo, but I guess I was wrong." Agreeing with Tobi, Zetsu nodded his head. "Agreed. It seems that Naruto powers are far greater than we ever expected." The members of Taka was in shock. From what they heard from Sasuke, Naruto was supposed to be the idiot who relentlessly chased after their leader. However, to find out that he was actually the new Hokage put them in a weird situation. They looked at Sasuke as they were surprised to see the expression that he wore. Sasuke was shocked. They almost never seen him in such a shocked demeanor ever before. As the Uchiha could only stare at Zetsu in disbelief. There was no way that idiot Naruto became Hokage. Sasuke felt a strange sense of hate start to build inside of him for Naruto. He had never really even thought about the blonde, other than times that he had been confronted with the man. But hearing that Naruto accomplished his dream of being Hokage made Sasuke boil in uncontrollable rage. As Uchiha then realized that Naruto was no longer better than any of Konoha people. When Sasuke pictured the people of Konoha laughing and smiling, Naruto never appeared in that image, never. Because Sasuke believed that the both of them were similar, while the others laughed in ignorance. For his brother's sins, Naruto was above such actions. The Uzumaki was one speck of light that kept the Uchiha from losing all hope in Konoha. But now it was completely gone. Naruto was the same as the others, laughing at him, enjoying the peace that had caused Itachi his life. In a word, Sasuke felt betrayed. However, he would not say that out loud. Whatever he said, "I don't care about that. What happened to Konoha?" As Tobi looked towards Sasuke with an intriguing look. "One of my minions, Pain, destroyed the village. But because you and Pain have made such a commotion, the 5 nations are making a move. The 5 Kages are holding a meeting. I'll explain the rest," said Zetsu. As Zetsu told the story, switching from voices to voices from the dark half and light half, he was telling the story of Naruto versus Pain. After all, he was a spectator. And once they heard the powers that Naruto displayed, well, they were shocked. From the beginning of the story, the way they spoke about Pain, it sounded like he was some kind of godlike character because of his Rinnegan. And yet, Naruto was able to defeat this man with godlike powers as well. This Naruto defeat the guy with the Rinnegan all alone, said Setsugetsu, as he was finding it difficult to believe. As Zetsu's body shook as they realized that was his way of nodding. That's right, he's gotten ridiculously strong. He's probably far stronger than Sasuke now. Yes, most certainly, the other half said. Sasuke scoffed at those words. "I don't care about that. I'm interested in this Kage summit." "Wait," Setsugetsu said. "I thought your target was Danzo and the other elders. Why go to the summit?" Karen shot Setsugetsu a dirty look, mad that he was going against her Sasuke-kun. "What? Am I wrong?" Setsugetsu said. "They may be my targets, but I have a new one now," said Sasuke, a cold look in his eyes. As Tobi figured who it was, but he did not ask. "We'll go to that meeting and kill the Kages. Our plans have changed." A smirk came on Tobi's lips under the mask. "Good," he said. Karen was frustrated that Sasuke was just changing the plan so willy-nilly, but she followed the lead nevertheless. "So, where is this meeting?" she said. "The Land of Iron. It won't be held for another month though, so you will just have to wait until then." Sasuke complied rather easily, much to the other's shock, thinking that he would be jumping to get this over with, as they all began their trip back to the Akatsuki hideout. Tobi was mentally sidetracked as his mind wandered back towards Naruto Uzumaki. That Naruto Uzumaki threw arranging my plans. No matter, he will fall eventually. I will use Hokage's summit as a means to show Sasuke that he needs his brother eyes. If he is defeated by Naruto, then all the more reason for him to want Itachi eyes. And after I give him those eyes, nothing will stop him from killing Naruto, no matter how strong the brat gets. There's no power that can compare to the Uchihas. As Sasuke was thinking how he was going to bring an end to the only man that he ever thought of as a friend. Time skip Konoha on a gigantic boulder. As Naruto stood there, hundreds of clones were scattered all around, as half of them were working on nature transformation, the other half was working on shape transformation. Both groups were training their wind affinity. Another thing Naruto noticed after his fusion with the fox was his chakra control was a lot better, as he believed that it was a stop in a seal that always threw his own chakra off course, but no longer was it there. And it only helped with his training in his wind abilities. One important thing he learned after he fused with the fox: he before was incredibly weak, at least compared to other ninjas like Kakashi, Guy, Yamato, and any other Jonin that he could think of. He did have Sage Mode, but that was considered to be a last resort for him. Well, at least he thought so. Sage Mode would take way too long to activate in battle, although he was working on a way to incorporate his clones in the large scroll that hung from his back, in a way to reduce the time. As Naruto was holding a small scroll that he got from Konoha Archive about Fuinjutsu, it was a beginner, but nevertheless. As Naruto glanced over the horizon, the stars were bright in the night sky. His mind played over the day's events. After the team from Kumo made their leave, he had went back to work. He finished up his paperwork as the time for his meeting with the daimyo had came very close. He had made his way to the council room as Naruto kept his large scroll on his lower back. Everyone except for Danzo was present for the get-together. As Naruto was not surprised that he was not here, he was probably already out, planning his downfall. He shrugged it off like it was nothing though, as he had other things to do. As Naruto told him about the Kage summit that will be held in a month's time, and how the Raikage wanted to discuss the Akatsuki, they took in the information gingerly, and commenced with the seminar. The meeting itself was entirely boring in Naruto's opinion, but he faked interest. The daimyo always asked for his input as well, and the man was constantly smiling at him behind his folding fan. Nowadays everyone seemed to just stare at him. They basically discussed how they would budget their money, and gave ideas on how to raise money, and budget their time as well, and decrease the time it would take to rebuild Konoha. Fundraisers, charity events, campaigns, all of it annoyed Naruto. He already had things planned out for the village, and hearing them talk about their half-witch idea that would not even sustain a ninja village in his opinion, it was irritating. Halfway through, Naruto rised up as he told them what he think of them and their ideas. This was now his village, and he would make sure that it would prosper. The daimyo advisors and elders were shocked by his rudeness. However, the daimyo himself, Shikaku, and the Anbu commander was snickering at Naruto's boldness. He then made them a promise that shocked everyone. I will have Konoha back to her former glory in under 2 months' time. After saying that he had left, they were taken aback by his proclamation. It would take 2, maybe 3 months to return Konoha back to its former self. At least with the way the reconstruction was going right now. They were confused how Naruto was gonna pull that off. But they knew if he was able to pull it off, majority of the votes would be won by Naruto for the upcoming Jonin votes, and he might just stay Hokage. Naruto then went behind the third monument head where Konoha Archive was. It was open to the public except for certain sections that were closed off to ranking shinobis. The Kage section was shut down due to there being only one Hokage at a time, many seals holding it down. Only the caretakers of Konoha Archive and the Hokage could enter, as it was filled with the previous Hokage journals. The journals were large scrolls, similar to the one on Naruto's back. They also contained many secret forbidden jutsu as well, as Naruto noticed that they were similar to the one that he stole when he first became a genin, when Mitsuki had tricked him. However, Naruto was surprised to find out that there was only 2 Fuinjutsu scrolls. They were both beginner that went into sealing and unsealing, as Naruto already mastered that, making them next to useless. However, the librarian brought him to a new section that he did not know about. Apparently it was closed off after the fourth Kage's death, because no one could enter it. He was told by the caretaker that it was created by the fourth Hokage and his wife, as they could not open the seals. The only thing that they were able to decipher over the years was the markings that covered the wall were blood seals. As Naruto pulled the kunai out and stepped towards the wall, as he pricked his palm, the caretaker watched in shock as the seals start to be undone. Then that means, Hokage-sama, you are... Shh, said Naruto, placing a finger to his lip. The woman nodded dumbly as she realized that Naruto was the son of Minato. After Naruto stepped through, the seals reappeared behind him, locking the place down once again. She turned as she returned back to work, whistling like nothing just happened. The place that he stepped into was lined with scrolls upon scrolls. There was so much. It was a decent-sized room that had a pedestal in the center of it. As Naruto walked over towards it, the calligraphy looked rather rushed. The person that wrote it had been in a hurry, it seems. As Naruto realized, as he read, "To my son, I leave to you our entire family lifeline, their abilities and their stories. You are Uzumaki, so show it with pride. Don't be a picky eater. Eat healthy, so that you grow up big and strong. Take a bath every day and keep warm. Do not steal plates. Get enough sleep, and also make friends. You don't need a lot, but just a few true friends that you can really trust. And I was never good at it myself, but study hard and practice your ninjutsu. But don't worry, everyone have things they're good at and things they're not. So if you have a hard time, do not let it get you down. Respect your sensei and senpais at the academy. And one more thing about the 3 ninja vices. Be especially careful when lending or borrowing money. Save the monies you earn from mission and don't drink until you're 21. And drinking too much is bad for you, so take it easy. As for women, I'm a woman, so I don't really understand. But there are only men and women, so you will find yourself interested in a woman. But do not fall for a strange one. Find a woman like your mom. Speaking of vices, watch out for Jiraiya-sensei. Naruto, listen to me. You will face many hard, difficult times, but remember your conviction and have confidence in yourself. I really wish I could be there to teach you so many more things. I wish I could be with you longer. I love you. Me and your father have to go. The Kyuubi is currently attacking, and we have to stop it. Goodbye, my son. Your mother, Kushina Uzumaki. P.S. Hey Naruto, this is your father, Minato. As he drew an image of his face. Did you like my cool guy face, he said, with a chuckle. Sorry, I don't have long now, he said. I second everything your mother wrote. We love you, son. Your father, Minato Namikaze. As he wrote another face at the end, with a tongue sticking out in a smile. As Naruto placed a hand over his mouth, suppressing the chuckle that came from him. His father's antics lightened his mood tenfold. He was almost brought to tears as he read through his mother's words, however, seeing his father's playful demeanor lessened the pain that he was feeling. If Minato was still alive, Naruto was sure that his father would be that kind of dad that embarrassed their son. The way he acted, even through his letters, was just so childish. However, Naruto would have loved to be embarrassed, as he would never change a thing about it or them. As he took it and sealed it away in his back pouch. As Naruto went about searching the room, he then found the motherlode of all Fuinjutsu. An entire wall was dedicated about Fuinjutsu scrolls. As he grabbed 3 of the beginners and made his way out. From there he went back to the office for most of the day as he worked on paperwork. Aside from paperwork, Naruto went to increasing Konoha reconstruction, so he had a chance of winning the Jonin vote. There was no doubt in his mind that word of him building Konoha back up in under 2 months had spread through the village. But that was good, that was what he intended. As Naruto needed people to understand that it was him that will play the ultimate role in Konoha revival. As Naruto was thankful that he had built so many bonds with people in his younger years as a genin. When he looked back at it now, he could almost slap himself, not realizing that how important these people were. People who were now respected leaders of their country, and they were people that owed him. It was time to cash in those favors and ask for assistance. As he did just that, as he wrote messages to be sent to different nations. The land of bird, the land of vegetable, the land of spring, the land of noodles, the hidden village amongst the stars, the land of bears. As Naruto wrote a letter to all of them. Those were the missions that he went on and had life-changing experience for himself and several individuals that took up the mantle of leader of their villages, and they owed him. Each letter detailed Konoha predicament and the help that was needed. It was also asking for an agreement to be made between the countries. With the help of their aid, an agreement made between the countries, Konoha will in turn defend them if they were threatened by invaded forces, as Naruto was sure that each of them would reply back. All of the daimyos were people that he met in his younger years. There was Toki from Torinokune, who Naruto, Neji, and Tenten were sent on a mission to defeat the Cursed Warrior. Toki was the one that had dressed up as the Cursed Warrior, as she wanted to catch the one who killed her brother. She had caused a lot of problem, however, she was able to find out that the man had a sinister plan for their land. The people had quickly moved against him. Toki had apologized to everyone as she begged for their forgiveness. And she continued to rule as the people saw what she did for them, despite her dressing up as the Ghost Warrior. She thanked the Konoha team and told them that if she could ever repay them, she would, as Naruto was catching in that offer. And then there was Haruna. She was from Land of Vegetables, as she had to flee because it was a threat in her life. She had to even change her identity, as Naruto, Choji, and Hinata were sent there. They were tricked because they were not sure who she really was at first. However, in the end they found out. It was a long-lasting mission, that one. However, they were able to help her, and brought out the ones that were threatening her life. She had asked Naruto to stay and help her rebuild the country, as both her and Naruto had went through a lot. There was a lonely life that she has grown. She wanted to stay here, seeing that Naruto had shared some of his stories with her when he was younger, and not to mention his goal of finding Sasuke at the time and bringing him back. However, she wanted to give him a new chance, a second chance. But Naruto declined, but she told him that if there's anything that he ever need, he should find her. And now he was catching him at that favor. And then there was Shikara from Uninokune. As she was gonna meet her fiancé, she had overeaten, as she wanted Ino to pretend to be her. They looked similar, but Naruto was the one that had to use the transformation jutsu, as she wanted him to remain like that until she lose some weight, as she did not want the man to deny the request. However, once they met, as Naruto and Ino, they were unable to fool the daimyo for too long. But the man had loved her, and they ended up getting married. She had offered the both of them riches and golds. However, the two had declined, as she told the both of them that she owed them. And there was also Samaru from Land of Bears, who was betrayed by his own teacher. And lastly, there was Princess Koyoki, as Team 7 had went and protected her from the daimyo, which was none other than her uncle Dodo, as Naruto's inspiring words had got the princess to believe in herself once again and turn in the country in the Land of Spring. So Naruto was calling in for all those favors now, as he needed help. However, at the moment, Naruto walked towards a large oak tree, as he stood there, recalling all the information that he got from the clones, as Naruto held his arm up before slashing downwards. At first, nothing happened until the tree started to tremble until it was cut straight down. The tree fell to the side. There was no splinter wood, and it was smooth to the touch. The cut was perfect, as Naruto smirked, as his son Shinoe, the Anvus who were watching him the entire time, were impressed, as he followed behind. Time skip. Naruto sat at his desk, as he was going through paperwork at breakneck speeds, so fast that the chonins that were bringing the paper started to get tired, just from bringing paperwork back in front. As a new stack was placed on the right, it started to decrease, as the stack on the left started to pile up with all the completed work. It was a chaotic pace that only the Hokage was able to handle. It was early in the morning as Emiko looked at him in awe at his proficiency. It had only been a week since he became Hokage, and yet he handled it like he's been the head of Konoha for ages. Emiko almost dropped her clipboard as she was mesmerized by her Hokage work. The recently turned 32 years old was a 4th and 5th secretary by the time they were instated. Comparing them in paperwork, Naruto blew the other two out of the water. The third, in his return after the untimely death of the 4th, was already a pro in handling paperwork. However, both the 4th and 5th struggled with the paperwork at first in their first coming weeks, knowing that this would be most of their entire day. From the early morning to late nights, their schedule would be packed, and it took them time to get accustomed to this drastic change. Ordinary ninjas had missions as well, as they could spend days or weeks on them. But even with the never-ending missions, ninjas always find time to somewhat relax. Konoha was a large enough place where people could be left with nothing to do for days. Through the years though, Emiko realized that change when one became Hokage. Day in day out they were required to work, as they were never to show fatigue, to never show weakness. It was a grueling process. It made the ninjas a workaholic, as it did with the 4th and 5th. But they were lucky to have people to love them, who were able to pull them from the despair that was suffocating them. They were shown that relaxation and work could be molded together as one. They had the privilege of learning from their mistakes and becoming better from it. However, as she watched Naruto work, she could not feel the despairs that the other two had suffered. He was just a ray of sunshine that did what was required, and he had a good time while doing it. As she did not know how he was doing that. She first thought it was a Kage manual, but that book had been here even in the fourth Hokage's reign, and yet Naruto was able to completely not have any troubles at all. The fourth and the fifth got overrun by their work, with the weight of the village on their shoulders. It only impressed Emiko that Naruto was doing better than them, not to mention when the upcoming Jonin vote in 2 months' time. As Emiko watched the side of his face, a small blush came on her cheeks. He was almost identical to the fourth Hokage, her childhood crush. However, she had to argue that this boy had to be even better. She did not know why. Maybe it was his work efficiency, or maybe it's because he reminded her of her own youth. But she was attracted to him. An hour later, the clock hit 9 AM, and Naruto decided it was time for his break. He expected Emiko to leave after saying her goodbyes like she did for the entire week. However, as he glanced up, she was just looking at him, a look of determination in her eyes. He also noticed a blush on her cheeks as he addressed her politely. "Yes, Emiko-san," he said. Her blush increased. It was strange how he addressed people, which was something else that she came to like about him. He talked to those around him a lot like how the third had talked to people in his old age. It was the complete opposite of what she had heard of him before he became Hokage. As Naruto spoke with power in a fatherly and protective sort of manner, Emiko spoke up. "Hokage-sama, I just wanted to know, how do you do it?" As Naruto raised the eyebrow. "What do you mean?" he said. "How do you handle all the pressure?" she said. "I was there when the fourth and fifth began their tenure as Hokage, and neither of them could handle it with such finesse as you have." As Naruto smiled at her words, her blush increased for a moment. "Thank you for your words," he said. "You honor me." He stood and faced the window as he overlooked Konoha. "You wish to know why I can so calmly go about my business, knowing that majority of the Jonins in the village look at me as nothing but an idiot." Emiko and the Anbu in hiding, except for Bear, flinched at Naruto's words. While they knew better, they also knew what the ninja populace of Konoha thought of him. It was a sad truth. The ninja opinion had been increasing since Naruto returned with Jiraiya. However, in a strange and sour way, their previous rethinking of him seemed to have rise since he took the title of Hokage. This is because while many of them acknowledged Naruto as a hero that he was, they did not believe that he was ready for such a title. As Naruto continued, "I have given everything I can to this village. It's my home. I grew up an orphan, and I was despised for something I had no control over. Those knew the truth, as they knew the truth behind the Kyuubi attack, but they did not bring it up in his presence. There was a point in my young life where I reached a breaking point. I knew that if I moved on that part, it would lead me to nothing but a life of regret, revenge, and hatred. However, I was stopped. My first real friend and someone that believed in the things I could accomplish showed up and saved me from despair." As Naruto turned towards Emiko, there was this fire in his eyes. She has never seen such a captivating sight as the sun from outside bask around him like a warm, fluttering aura. That man was the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi. He made me realize there was so much more to live for than just petty vengeance. I grew up from then on trying to follow in his example. I owe him more than humanly possible for saving me. I have vowed to the man that I will become the greatest Hokage that ever lived. There is no doubt in my mind I will accomplish these things because it was Hiruzen that put me on this path. He believed in me. So you ask me why I don't feel any pressure, Emiko-san." Emiko nodded dumbly as she clutched the clipboard to her chest as the Anbus were at the edge of the anticipation. What is there to fear when it was fate that got me here? Just as Jiji had faith in me to change, so do I have faith in the shinobis in this village. Emiko had a small smile as she bowed. She thanked him before leaving. Once she was gone, Naruto walked over towards the sage scroll as he took it up and threw it over his shoulder. Unbeknownst to him, his Anbu team had a brand new spark of encouragement. They remained silent, but they all knew of the unspoken pact that they made with one another. No matter where this man went, Hokage or not, they would follow him to the ends of the earth and back. Time skip. Naruto made his way through Konoha at a calm pace, thinking about his first week of being Hokage, It had been interesting to see. To start, he was pleased to hear that 3 out of the 5 daimyo that he contacted had sent their help already. Toki had sent some of her reconstruction group who arrived a few days earlier as they quickened the rate that Konoha was being rebuilt. Haruna was pleased to hear that Naruto had taken up her offer. After all this time, she sent a generous amount of people to aid them. Some of them were not even construction workers. They were just sent to help out and do what was told of them and enjoy themselves in the foreign area. Her caravan of people arrived 2 days after Naruto sent out the request. She said that she wanted to come to Konoha as well and meet with him, as she wanted to see how he was. Naruto was happy to set up an appointment with her, as he wrote back saying that he could meet her in 2 weeks. Shikara was more than ready to send some construction workers as well. Onokuni was not a very big country. In fact, it was one of the smallest, but the help was welcome. He also sent several caravan of noodle workers to feed the workers whoever was ready to pay, as the village was known for its spectacular noodles. So this was a great business venture for him as well. As for the final 2, Koyuki and Sumaru had not accepted the deal. Sumaru said that he would like to meet with Naruto first and see how far he has come. Whatever that meant, as Naruto replied, they will have their meeting in about a week and a half. As Koyuki wrote back, she told him that she will only accept the treaty if he helped her with a part in her upcoming movie. The filming would take place in about a week, which meant that he had to leave by tomorrow because it takes 3 days to get there. He thought the request was weird, but he thought nothing of it. All he needed to do was portray a character for a few minutes so that he could help Konoha recover quickly. As Naruto already contacted his old team by a Chunin, asking for their assistance in the mission after all. They were all there on that mission. It also felt like he hadn't seen them in ages. He saw Kakashi a week ago at the graveyard. On the other hand, it has been over a month since he spoke to Sakura. He had seen her when he went to visit Tsunade, and when he had defeated Pain he saw her as well, but he did not actually talk to her, as he was so used to seeing and talking to two on a daily basis that it felt weird now not seeing them. In fact, he has not really seen any of his usual friends since becoming Hokage. This was actually the first time that he had left the office still, other than getting scrolls and training, as Naruto sleep, eat, and work at the tower, so it made his stroll through the village more enjoyable. He had yet to go down to the mission department where he'd probably see a lot of people that he knew. Usually he just made a list of missions and names, so he would not have to spend a lot of time on that. As Naruto walked through the streets, he saw many people's faces brighten up as they saw him. Smiles, wave, and kind greeting was thrown his way from people he was sure he had never met, and some of the faces that he could recall from the distant past that were filled with hatred and loathing. People that were even working stopped what they were doing just to say hello. It was a shocking feeling how they used to react in his presence, but he welcomed the feeling with joy as he smiled and waved back towards them. As Naruto even blushed a bit as he heard several groups of girls and women talking about his attractive looks. Thanks to his fusion with the Kyuubi, Naruto learned that his hearing enhanced quite a bit, and his other senses as well. Even the hustle and bustle that rose over the village, you could still hear the women's word about him. As several of them said that he looked like the forts, Naruto was not surprised. His pouch pocket had gotten filled with a scroll, so he was now wearing a Jonin vest, so he had to remove his orange shirt. Now he was wearing a white shirt, a slim, soft material white shirt with a Jonin vest over it, with his coat over that. As he thought about his training, it was getting exceptionally better. His control over wind as well has greatly increased. He remembered what Kakashi said on his first mission as a genin, that a Hokage should have mastered over 1,000 techniques, as Naruto really wanted to expand his repertoire. And he no longer needed a clone to create the Rasengan because of his great chakra control. However, he still had to use 2 hands, as the great fourth Hokage Jiraiya had told him that the man was able to use it with only 1 hand. And that is what Naruto was striving for, to form not only the normal but the giant Rasengan with only 1 hand. Aside from ninjutsu, Fuinjutsu was getting better, as he was on the intermediate scrolls. He had tried to train in Genjutsu, but it was just not his style. The only thing he wanted was just to learn how to completely remove it, and stop others from trying to place him under one. Lastly, he was also focusing on increasing his speed in Taijutsu. He only started Taijutsu training the previous day, adding some more clones so they could also fight amongst themselves. As Naruto wanted to increase his speed, his father was known for his speed, and Naruto would like to surpass the speed that his father had, to move even beyond that. Not to mention Naruto was wearing weights. He had just placed them on yesterday, so it was yet to be fully adjusted, as he was wearing a pretty heavy weight to start with, as he could already feel a change. However, he would just walk through it. As Naruto saw the Yamanaka clan flower shop, as it was reconstructed and it was open, as Naruto made his way and entered inside. A few minutes earlier, both Inu and Tenten was inside. Both girls had become greater friends since they had went on a few missions back a few weeks ago. The two mainly gossip about their missions and the boys in their life, as they had been talking about new events for the entire day until they ran out of things to talk about. Besides Pain Invasion and Konoha, the most thing that they spoke about was Naruto taking the mantle of Hokage. After talking about Naruto so much, they found it hard to talk about anything else. Every time they spoke about something else, it always came back around on Naruto, as Ino was doing most of the talking, telling Tenten about her select times on missions with him. And some of the things were good, but some of them were nuts, as Tenten was still shocked that Naruto had became Hokage. He was their age. She did not have anything against him, but she just did not think that he was fit for the position. Well, in her opinion. As Ino yawned and bored, she said, "Me too," said Tenten. That is when the door opened up. As Ino did not see, but Tenten saw who came in. Her eyes widened at that. "Hi," said Ino, speaking before she could see the person. "Welcome to the Yamanaka flower shop." Upon the end of her question, she realized who it was as her eyes nearly bugged out of her head. Naruto. Her Hokage was standing there. As her eyes almost bugged out of her head, the two Kunoichis were shocked to see him. He had been cooped up in the office for the past few weeks, so this was a shock. As he walked up to the cashier with a bright smile, "Yes, I was hoping you could help me find a certain flower." Ino was like a fish out of water as she gaped at the person standing in front of her. She did not even register his words as she just stared. Tenten was shocked, but she was able to respond as Ino was literally frozen. So she spoke. Hey there, Naruto. "How have you been?" she said. His face of confusion towards Ino's reaction turned towards Tenten, as it was like he did not notice her when he had entered. "Oh hey Tenten," he said. "Long time no see. I'm great. How have you been?" Tenten smiled back as she was glad that the first thing out of his mouth was not anything to do with her teammates. The thing was, her and Naruto never really talk, or did they knew anything about each other. But to hear that he asked about her. "I'm good," she said. "Lee and Neji are also fine," she said, as Tenten's eyes traveled up his wandering figure, as Naruto was not embarrassed by her eyes. She was not the first one. "So, I guess what they say is true. You're the Hokage. Hard to believe a buffoon like you could do it," she said. Tenten already knew that Naruto was Hokage, however, from the things that she heard from Ino, Naruto would get easily rattled and angered. She wanted to see if that was the case. She knew that later on might be her thinking back regrettably on her actions today. However, she could not pass upon this opportunity. He was about to shout how awesome he was, and that he deserved the title. However, he simply scratched the back of his head. "I guess so," he said. "I tried my best and I was rewarded. I got plenty of things I want to change, most notably the way Neji and his branch family are treated by the main branch. Hopefully I can keep my dream after the Jonin vote and help Neji along the way." Tenten's smile instantly faltered. Everything that Ino said about Naruto was immediately thrown through the window. That was not the reaction she expected. He made that promise to Neji 3 years ago that he will help with the Hokage clan, and yet he remembered. That spoke greatly about his character and what kind of man he was. Ino came out of her stupor as she was also shocked by how Naruto reacted. He seemed just so different. As she spoke, "What was it that you need again? I mean Hokage-sama." As Naruto waved her off, "No need to call me Hokage-sama, Ino," he said. She nodded as a part of her was humbled to know that she could refer to her leader in such a way. She never thought that Naruto would be so kind to her. After all, back then she was kind of a bully. Yeah, she wasn't kind if she was one. She was a kid, but she was never really nice to him. Or did she show any interest that he could actually accomplish anything that he said? "I was wondering if you can help me find a certain flower," said Naruto. "I'm not really that good with them, so can you help me?" he said. "Of course," she said. "Have any idea what you're looking for?" she asked. "Something that would be good for a past loved one." "It's for Jiraiya-sama, I presume," she said. "No," said Naruto. "They're actually for someone else." The girls were surprised by that. "Oh, who's that?" she said. "A very old friend of mine," said Naruto. "I owe him more than I can put into words." As they realized that Naruto dodged a question, however, they took it as a sign that they should not ask anymore. As Ino phoned perfectly what he was looking for. "Here we go," she said. A plant that had multiple blossom, purple flowers running across his body. As she picked it up by the pot, this is a companion flower. They have long been a symbol of gratitude. I think it will be perfect. As she rang it up as he paid, as Naruto held it under his arm, thanking it too. Ino could not outthink him to get the answer, so she decided to ask, Naruto, who are the flowers for? As Naruto looked over his shoulder, here's in Sir Toby, he said, as he left. Leaving the two in a surprised state. Time skip, Naruto planted the flowers, as he had used his hand. There, he said, even better. As he got up and pat his pants leg to get the dirt off. I wish you were alive to see me now. You probably wouldn't even believe it. Me, Hokage, he said. You know, Sensei, you don't have to keep on hiding. Just because I'm Hokage now, it doesn't mean I've become some sort of pariah. As Kakashi dropped down behind Naruto walking up towards him, he had been in the trees after he sensed Naruto arriving towards the cemetery. The former envoy captain was busy talking to Obito and Rin at the time, but he was interested in what Naruto was doing here. As he spoke, came to pay your respect to Sarutobi again. Correct, said Naruto. As Kakashi saw Naruto dressed like the fourth Hokage, Kakashi felt bad, as he knew that Naruto's dream would be cut short after the Jonin vote, but he figured that it was for the best. Kakashi did not thought that Naruto was ready for it yet, in his opinion, but he kept his thoughts to himself. I'm glad that we'll be going on a mission together again. It will be like old times. As Naruto smiled, yeah, he said. As Kakashi realized, even during their last meeting, Naruto did not look at him, not even once. Why are you not looking at me, Naruto, he said. It's ironic, isn't it, Sensei? That one can come so far yet those closest to him do not see how far he has gone. Kakashi knew exactly what Naruto was saying. Naruto, don't take it personally. I know that you've come far. You've even surpassed me in power. But you have to see where I'm coming from. You're only 16 and you're not ready for such responsibilities. As Naruto simply chuckled at his words. How old was Gaara when they made him Kazekage? That's different. The San is different from Konoha. Konoha is the biggest and most prospering village throughout all the countries. It requires the most from its Hokage and you're not ready for such things. Trust me. Give it time and gain more experience. I know that you'll make an amazing thank you, Kakashi-sensei, said Naruto, cutting him off, as Naruto had spoken in a sarcastic tone. However, Kakashi simply continued. It will take some years before then, he said. However, Naruto's smile did not falter as he continued to stare at the third tombstone. It's okay, Sensei. I'll tell you what I'm gonna tell you after the Jonin vote, said Naruto. And after I am permanently Hokage, I'll always be your student, so why would I ever stop thinking that you would treat me as anything but? As Kakashi was about to say something, but Naruto placed a hand on his shoulder, not meeting his eyes. I'll see you in a couple of days, Sensei. Before Kakashi could do anything, Naruto snatched him away. As Kakashi sighed, he looked down towards the third grave and Asuma. As he glanced up to the heavens, Sir Tobi-sama, Asuma. When was it that I lost sight of what the king truly was, he said to himself. Time skip. Sakura Haruno let out a heavy sigh as she looked at the ceiling of her room for what felt like hours. Today was one of the few days of the month that she was off from Konoha Hospital, and she did not know what to do with her time. She was happy to hear that she would be with the old Team 7 for Koyoki diplomatic mission, as she did not know exactly what it was about. However, she was happy to hear about it. She would finally be able to talk to Naruto. It has been over a month since he spoke to him, and she was missing him. His obnoxious behavior and his way of talking was something that she grew so accustomed to. However, she was slightly grateful for their time apart. The time apart gave her a chance to see where Naruto was in her life. When he came back from his trip with Jiraiya, they became so close. Sometimes a day did not even go by without them not seeing each other. She had not thought about it until now, but when he had came back, she had seen him a lot more than she had saw him when they were younger, as she had grown attached to him, and then he had leave, making her abandonment issue that she had for Sasuke leaving rise up, as she couldn't lose Naruto. Even when he was gonna leave for his sage training, she didn't want him to go, but she knew that she could never be that selfish, as she had already asked too much of him already. Plus, she did not want to give him the wrong impression. She didn't want it to seem like she had fallen for him or something, because that was definitely not true. However, she had no idea how much she would miss him when he was gone, as she had saw him every day and she grew so attached to him. Through the previous month, she was able to think back, as she realized she was thinking a lot more about Naruto than Sasuke. But she did not think much into that, as she loved Sasuke, not Naruto. However, she cared for Naruto a lot in a more brotherly way, as she realized that he was her best friend, probably even more so than Ino. He was always there when he needed to be, and he was always ready to say what would cheer her up. When she was there with him, she could be herself and not care what others thought. It's one of the best feelings that she could think of. But now, she still saw Kakashi a lot, but Naruto was no longer there. Well, he was the new Hokage. As about that as well, she couldn't believe that he made Hokage. It was always his dream. As she had to say when she saw him in his trademark cloak, he looked rather handsome. Nowhere near Sasuke level of hotness, but he had his own unique feature working for him. Naruto did ask her out on several dates, but she knew that he knew that she loved Sasuke. He only did that to make her feel better and cheer her up. He was one of the few people that she could tell literally anything, and he would be there for her. He was her best friend, and this month had gotten her to realize how much close she was to him. But she knew that one day, him and Hinata would end up together, once he realized her feelings was fully out there for him to, well, make a move on. As she giggled to herself, they would make such a cute couple, she thought. She had tried to visit him on several occasions, but she learned that he leave in around 5 or 6. And by then she was too late, as she worked rather late at the hospital. As she did not know where Naruto go or do, the secretary even seemed to be getting rather annoyed at her constant visiting. And Sakura did not like the secretary tone, so they were not on good terms. She would see him tomorrow, so she would just have to wait. Yeah, she would speak to him tomorrow. At least she hoped that everything was fine between them. After all, they haven't spoken in a month now. Time skip at the sun. As the Kumo ninjas had came and spoken about the summit meeting, as the Sun had not received any report from Konoha for aid. However, they found out that the village was destroyed rather quickly, and right now it was in a stage of rebuilding. As Samui tried to remember the name of the man, as Gaara had asked her who was the 6th Hokage when she told him that she has already been to Konoha. I think his name was Naruto Uzumaki. He's the one that took down the leader of the Akatsuki. As everyone was shocked, Gaara leaned in his chair, as Conqueror cracked a smile. That knucklehead finally did it, he said. As Temari chuckled. Who would have thought, she said. As Gaara was still shocked until he snapped back into focus. Well, if that is all to discuss, I ask that you go about your mission, he said. We have much to think about. As the Kumo ninjas left, both siblings looked towards Gaara as they waited for what he would do. As he made his way over, they watched as he was leaving. Gaara, where are you going? I need to see this for myself, said Gaara. As he made his way back at the village, there was a knock on Naruto's door. As he told the person to enter, it was none other than the two elders, Homura and Koharu. What can I do for you? Said Naruto. Koharu was the first to speak. We merely wanted to see how you were adjusting to the new position. It's fulfilling, said Naruto. Homura scoffed, but he did not say a word as Koharu continued. As it should, it is the greatest honor a ninja can get. Throughout the village. Indeed, you're correct, but I doubt the two of you came all this way to congratulate me. Now what is it that you really wanted? Said Naruto. Be mindful of who you're talking to like that, child, Homura said. I could say the same to you, old man, said Naruto. As Koharu scoffed, you're certainly a lot like that girl Tsunade. We have yet to decide if that is a good or bad thing. And just what is that supposed to mean? Said Naruto. It was Homura, turn to speak. While Tsunade did do her job in protecting the village as best as she could, some blame could be thrown her way for not being strong or prepared to deal with the leader of the Akatsuki. Excuse me, said Naruto. As Koharu continued, you are young and inexperienced, or Tsunade was not strong enough to handle pain. You are not strong enough to handle the responsibilities of the village. That's enough, said Naruto as he slammed his fist on the decks. The both of you may say what you want about me, but if you continue to speak about Tsunade Bakuchan in any disrespectful manner, I promise you, you will regret it, said Naruto. The both of them looked at him with their solid gaze. As Homura pushed up his glasses, it seems we were right about you, he said. As Koharu spoke, we would advise you not to leave the village for a number of reasons tomorrow, but we know that you will do as you please. As they start to leave, oh, and congratulations on becoming Hokage, for however short it might be. As Naruto clenched his fists, he had let his emotions overtook him right there. That was not the first meeting that he would like with the elders, but he knew those stubborn old farts for a very long time now, and he knew how they were, but he let his emotion overtook him. However, he would change all of that very soon. Just like everyone else that doubted him, he will show them. He will show them all. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. And remember to share to all of your friends in social media platform. But I'm off and I'll see you guys soon. Peace guys.